fastest road to getting out of a victim mindset. I was thinking about this under the context of like just watching a lot of videos and trying to, do my healing, still do a lot of, years now of just thinking about, my part in things and just different personality disorders and familial issues and all this stuff. And like being in places in my life where just saying, it was the best time of my life, to be honest, where I just said, I'm going to actively not consider any victimness, nothing, zero. And it led to me thriving more than I ever have. And obviously it's better said, it's easier said than done, especially, it depends on how recent the wounds are, the pain level, everything. But I just think I like to think of just concepts and powerful, honest, maybe left of center, maybe not so mainstream ideas. And again, going back to these videos about balance, the universe, karma, people talk about karma all the time. It's so real. It's so real. And, the universe is perfectly balanced. That's the way I look at it. Like I blame the victim often, honestly, because that is a way to acknowledge, like, there's a difference between, blaming the victim and not having empathy. You can have empathy for someone and also still accept that they have to live with their decisions, and often someone who is a victim in a situation didn't have boundaries, or there's a million things. Sometimes things just happen that are tragic, and there is no one to blame. But for the sake of argument, if we're talking about relationships, we're talking about even driving, getting in a car accident. There's always a defensiveness. There's always a way to, and things just happen again. So I'm not, there are things that happen in life that are just unexplainable tragedies. And if we can separate that for a moment and just talk about things you can control, the controllables, to the degree that you're willing to, look at that, your part in it. That's a whole nother paradox. But let's just say that, again, the point of the video, a framing of getting out of a victim mentality. There's no rush, but if you're watching this video and you're stuck, right? I find it very helpful to look at, internalizing the notion that karma is real, that the universe is perfectly balanced. Examples are, often the person who was in the relationship that was most hurt, that has done had the most isolation, had the most time to heal, more time to not create that trauma bond again, the time to look inwardly, to the time to create internal validation, to understand where these, where the harmful patterns are coming from. They have a better chance to heal, grow, and be a better person. So that pain can be turned into something. There's a million examples. Losing your job, that will create a new path. It's painful because especially for a man, it's like our whole worth comes from our work and providing for ourselves and others, and having like this, being the rock. And losing a job is just like, that's almost at the top of the list. One of the worst things that happened to a guy. And it's like, if you can frame that as like, we got a new path now. Like, you thought it was something, it's obviously not. The universe had other plans, whatever you want to call it. It's not, there's God's plan. We can get religious. I don't like that. I just talk about, like, very pragmatically, it's true, right? We all know this. Like, it's framing their mind is so powerful, and the victim mentality it's sick, and we got to give people empathy, and it's understandable in a lot of situations. But ultimately, no, I think in almost all situations, the victim mentality is always an excuse to go down a hard road. And I think there's a choice when something horrible happens and you can't figure out, especially if it's psychological, something that is so deep. You can go victim land, and you don't really have to change. You can kind of be a victim, and you know, the longer that path is, and it doesn't have to be active. It can just be a worldview. Something happened and you don't forgive. Forgiving is for you. Boundaries are for you. Remember that. And so being a victim is not having that frame in your mind that whatever happened to you was not your fault. It was their fault. And that gives them all the power. That is what a predator wants. They want you to create. That to me, that is evil incarnate. A person that has darkness and they just like, I just picture like, this would be super weird concept. No one's gonna get this, but like, just picture like Little Nemo, not Finding Nemo, Little Nemo, that darkness that just like comes to the door. I just picture that when I think about, every time I think about darkness, and it's just like sludge onto you. And then that to me, that's evil incarnate. They want you to do the thing that was done to them to others. And that's the most beautiful thing, is just to pick, I didn't have boundaries. I chose this. I tried to heal somebody. I tried to, often trying to help people that don't want to be helped. That is something I'm learning is, yeah, it's a very, you put yourself in a very vulnerable position if you want to fix someone, because, it's just not right at best, and at worst, you open yourself up to untold pain because that empathy will be used against you, i.e., someone with that darkness sees that you, whether consciously or unconsciously, see it, and you want to heal it. They go, and on their end, sometimes consciously, I think often consciously, manipulate the person and their good nature into, destroying them. Anyway, that was a little bit dark. I was watching a little bit of a dark video, that's why this came up. But yeah, again, it's easier said than done. I'm not telling anyone what to do. I know I come off sometimes whatever, but a little bit preachy, but I'm just that's how I think. I just points whatever, and obviously always giving yourself grace, and just the timeline is different for everyone, but I just wanted this to be kind of a hopeful message of like, and I feel like for myself, I have a hard time with the, I'm an extreme guy my whole life, and I used to think that you can find, I still kind of do think you can find the truth on the extremes. Maybe it's just my way of eventually hitting official rock bottom, like serious rock bottom, like. But I still struggle with like the notion of, because I like doing difficult things. I like to fail. I always, my whole life, it was just like failures were like building, and like screwing up, and, taking chances. Like it just felt like I would learn all the time. And even if the more painful, fine, let's go. Working out, like to the point of like crazy David Goggins levels. I'll have to make another video about that. I got a huge video about that I want to talk about, with the extremes again. And that's kind of a good segue. Balance is more difficult than extremes. You think doing something super extreme is super difficult. I always thought that was like virtuous. No, it's self-destruction. There's a line. And I guess my point I'm trying to make here is that the I guess I'm just not making a point. I'm talking about self-destruction versus growth. And I had a framing in my mind. This is my fault. This is why I have to own this, is I would always get to a point, a level of like, I made it. I've done it many times in my life where I had everything. And then I go, I don't know how much I knew this actively. This is the thing about the mind. It's messed up, but I don't think I'm good enough. Even after all this, I'm going to destroy all of it. You only like me because I have all this. And then I want someone to rescue me. Like, I rescue everyone and then I destroy my life. And then you got to rescue me. And if you don't rescue me, then I wasn't good enough. See, I wasn't good enough. And that's just wrong to do that, obviously. We are not all the same. Some people are self-sacrificing. Some people do zero of that. I didn't understand even that. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole fucking thing. But, that was my fault. And, yeah, I'm never going to do that again. That was, boundaries and protecting your sanity is not selfish. Your needs are not selfish. This is becoming another projection video, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on topic here about just karma. It's like, but it is like, it really is the best framing. And that's when it gets difficult, I think, is when you don't want to, it, like that's the shame, the guilt is like knowing that you did something. That's the paradox, is like, yes, karma happens, i.e. if someone hurts you, it's like, well, if you're good, it doesn't matter who validates it, what's going on in your life. If you have your conscience and you know what you're doing, you can look at yourself in the mirror. It's like, that's really all that matters, i.e. that person has to deal with their shit farther down the road, and that's the karma, it just comes later, and I just lost my train of thought again. Oh, when it comes to being a victim, oh yeah, and that's the hard thing, is it's easy if someone, it's very clear that someone hurt you or whatever, and it's easier to move on. I think Peterson said that it's like, not, trauma doesn't come from bad things happen to you. It's when bad things happen to you and someone wanted to hurt you. Like you saw that someone was trying to hurt you. And I agree with that in a lot of ways. And that can be doubly bad if like if you like hurt yourself, like it's harder to accept that yeah, it could be a lot more gaslighty, because it's like, like the lines between victim and victimizer are blurred, and you hurt yourself. It's like, okay, like I can't look at that. I have to double down on being a victim because I don't even know what the hell, like, so, but even then, it's, whew, that's a tough one. That's why the SA, I guess you have to say that, abuse, the SA abuse is like another level, because the psychological can be both physical and psychological. The psychological abuse, it's just getting super dark. Yeah, I'm gonna back up and just say, yeah, we'll kind of wrap up the video here with the framing of, again, perspective, time, grace, and remembering that just like the universe is balanced. It really is perfectly balanced. Even if something happens, you think there's no lesson in it, eventually it'll it'll show itself. It's just, I don't know. The longer I live, the more I just feel like I don't want to go crazy with the what do you go? There's like a path that's like predestination, whatever you want to call it, but where there is free will, but God, the older I get, it's just like it just feels like things happen for a reason. It's so weird, and time is not. This is getting really preachy philosophical, but time is not linear, because to the degree that you heal or experience something, like it's like the same thing as like some days move faster than others. It's like, how do you explain that? Your perception of time is different, and like, I don't know, like it makes me think that it's just a circle. Like time is not linear. And I don't know. My mind went blank. I think I had something to say about that. I just like daunted myself with my own grandiose ideas, but about, I don't know, something about trauma and healing and a plan, and oh yeah, everything happens for a reason. It's like, it's not that it's necessarily linear, and that, oh, that's what I was gonna say, is like linear, and that it's like everything happens for a reason, therefore it's already planned out. It's, no, the things that are happening to you in your life are happening for the new path. There's always a new path. The thing happened, you lost a job, it brought you to this path, and now you've never would have met the love of your life at the new job, like, and then that changed everything. And I swear, even as a kid, I knew this. I remember, I would see things. This is where my life is going to go. Let's ruin it. And let's try and do a harder path. I swear to God. And I'm like, because you'll always be able to find a better path. It's just like, let's keep ruining the good path. And then it's like the underdog. I don't know why. It's just self-destructive. And then I want to see if I can build it. I can build back. And because you always can. I think the person can reach a point, though, where it's not worth it. But yeah, I'm never going to do that again. And having said that, it's like, how could that be linear? If it's not, it's like, it's like branches going out. It's like roots, like a root system through the ground is like your life. That's not linear. That is infinite. This got so preachy. I apologize, guys. Anyway, everything happens for a reason. Victim mentality, not good. Not good to normalize. And people that, I guess I'll do a little bitch mission. This is like my inner Carlin. I don't know. I can't help myself. My motif as well. People that enable victim mentality on social media, that's bad. That's not a good thing to do. It's one thing to have empathy, because there's no empathy. If there's that is virtue signaling, that is enabling, that is keeping someone down. If you're going to appease someone's victim mentality, you want to have empathy, it has to be in person. It has to be video. It has to be something other than a like or a comment. That is bullshit. Sorry, that's my judgmental. What, I gotta end with some judgment. That's becoming this channel is just like shame. There's things now I just want to shame, because it just objectively, like, yeah, that's not good. It's not good to do that. It's a way to keep people down. It's manipulative, and I think it just creates so much more victim mentality. So, yeah, everything happens for a reason. I could get into a car accident on the way out of here right now. We'll see. If I don't see you in the next video, got into a car wreck. It's fucked up to say that, but I'm ending the video like that. Bye.